Hello, my name is Alisa. I have a Facebook page called Alisa's Transmuting Tarot. I'm a tarot reader and I'm a person who is interested in spiritual development. I really like developing spiritually. It's kind of like my lifetime interest. And today I wanted to talk to you about one of my epiphanies. So the thing is, from time to time in my life, I regularly get different epiphanies. So an epiphany for me, sometimes that would be like a sudden idea or, this like sudden aha moment where I get something that I didn't understand before. And sometimes it can be completely new information, meaning sometimes it's something that I feel other people also didn't understand before. So I think that I'm like the pioneer, the first person to discover this amazing truth. Most probably it's not true, but what can I say? It feels like I'm the first one to discover that. And sometimes an epiphany for me is something like, let's say I heard some statement before, sometimes billion times before, and people just kept repeating it, and I either didn't understand it completely, or I did understand it, but only in theory. Like, theoretically, my brain was able to imagine that something like this could be true, but I still didn't feel like yeah, that is the truth. So it didn't feel empirical, so to say. So for me, there are basically like two stages of understanding. One is just logical or theoretical, when my brain is like, oh, okay, probably in theory that could be true. And the other level is when I get this epiphany feeling, and then it's just like I suddenly understand this thing with my whole body. It's like suddenly every cell in my body just knows that this is the truth. And so those realizations, those epiphany, those aha moments is exactly what I call personally an epiphany. So today I wanted to talk about the epiphany that probably, I feel like it's the most basic epiphany ever. And basic, but also something that I think the majority of people on the planet are struggling with. No matter how many generations or thousands of years pass by, it's just so profound. It's like it's the very basis, and at the same time it's just so, I don't know, tough, I guess. And so I have been personally struggling with this for years and years, and I can tell you that I've heard this statement for years and years before. So this epiphany wasn't new information, not at all. In fact, it was just a statement, let's say, that people just kept repeating over and over again, and yet it never made full sense to me. And so it just felt like, I could allow in my brain the idea that maybe, hypothetically, theoretically, maybe it is true, but it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like it was fair to believe in it, and stuff like this. And so for years I've been struggling with that. And then finally, about, I don't know, 3.5 months ago, I just had this realization, I had this epiphany that, yes, hell yeah, it is true. So I want to describe to you how I understood it, and I hope it will help you, because the reason I think, or I feel, that I couldn't really get this idea before was that people just kept repeating this statement, but they never really explained it. They never really explained how it works. They never really explained what it meant. And so it was just some vague idea which didn't have or didn't make any sense to me. And yeah, it was just like empty words to me, really. And I think for many people right now, they also have this experience that they hear this statement and they're like, yeah, that's really great, but these are just empty words to me because I just don't feel it in my body. I don't believe it. I don't think it's true. And so I'm hoping with this video, I'm hoping that maybe if I explain to you how I understand it, how I got it, how it feels to me, maybe it will also trigger something in you, and in turn will help you get your aha moment or your epiphany, so that maybe you will also have this realization and eye-opening moment when you'll be like, oh yeah, now I get it. So I really hope that this is how it's gonna happen. Also, just a very short disclaimer. If you start listening to me and it doesn't make sense to you, you feel like it doesn't resonate with you, whatever, obviously you don't have to agree with me. So you can just, if you don't agree, just leave the video and find something that resonates with you. If you feel like, yeah, maybe, it is a little bit provoking or thought-provoking to you, but still you are interested, you are curious, and you feel like, okay, maybe there is some information for me there, then of course keep watching. So as always, with everything in life, take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, so let's go. The statement that the profound basic statement that I'm talking about today is called, and I quote, we humans are responsible fully 100% for our own lives. Now, probably you have heard this statement over and over and over again, billion times before. Or maybe you heard it more in the form of somebody telling you like, you have to take responsibility for your own life. So a little bit more like nagging, right? So yeah, basically it's usually one of the two. Either you're responsible for your own life or you have to take responsibility for your own life. And if you're like me, you probably might have struggled with that, and you would be like, well, I pay my bills, I pay taxes, I go to work, I don't lie to people, I don't cheat them, blah blah blah, so I am a responsible person, or I am a responsible citizen. So what do you mean when you say that I have to take responsibility for my own life? Like, in what sense? I'm such a responsible person. If I give my word, if I promise something, I do it, so I am responsible. Well, it's only half of the truth, let's say. So let's talk about this. Maybe first I'm just gonna give you some tip that helped me, how I got to this realization. And the thing is, I'm not fully sure that that was, the thing that was the exact catalyst that made me finally understand what it means to be responsible for your own life, or take full responsibility for your own life. So I'm not sure if it was the exact catalyst or it was just one of the things, it was like a accumulation of things. And maybe it was like the last straw, basically. But I'm still gonna give it to you because I feel like perhaps for you it would be the catalyst. Perhaps for you it would be something useful. So a little bit of context, what was happening about 3.5 months ago. Oh, and by the way, right now I'm 34. I've recently turned 34, so you could say that I only got the idea of what taking full responsibility for your own life means almost at the age of 34. So yeah, so I mean, I don't think it's a bad result. I think it's actually quite good. Some people live their, whole lives without understanding what it means. But on the other hand, also, one of my intentions here with this video is to help you do it faster than me. If you're, I don't know, 15 maybe, or 17 or something, and you're watching this and it makes sense to you and you get this aha moment, then I feel like it would be great. I would really like to help other people. And if, my video helps you understand something faster and do something easier than it was for me, then that's perfect for me. Okay. So, about 3.5 months ago, I was reading a book called Energetic Selling and Marketing by Lenka Lutońska. This lady is from Slovakia, but the book is in English. The book is really good, I believe. I really like the way it's written. And at the very beginning, of course, as the actual basis for everything, there is the statement that we are responsible fully for our lives and that we should, or actually have to, take full responsibility for our lives if we want to be happy and successful. Now, at the very beginning, I think in the first chapter, at the end of this, statement described and different examples given, blah, 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 there is an actual practical exercise that you can do to feel that this is the truth. I did this exercise, and I believe it was this exercise that really helped me get this aha moment. So I'm giving this exercise to you, and hopefully it will also help you. Now, the exercise is called I am that. I am. And it's very, very simple. It's not something that you do well, not really physically. It's something that you do in your mind. So what you do is, for several days, you can go out for a walk, for example. But honestly, I feel like you don't actually have to go out for a walk. You can just do anything. You live your daily life every single day. And what you do is that you look at different objects, at different people, at, I don't know, trees, grass, garbage, anything. Say to yourself, I am that. I am. It's like you reaffirm the fact that, yes, you are that. Now, what does it mean that you are that? It means that the energy that is inside you is exactly the same as the energy in everything and everyone else. So the energy in the garbage that you see is the exact same energy that is in you. The exact same energy is also in trees, is also in grass, is also in in the air, in water, in every single thing. So everything that you experience is the same energy. And when you do it over and over again, you suddenly start understanding that yes, it is the same energy. Now, so for me, I've done it for I think 2 or 3 days, and it really, really triggered something in me. I really understood it. So now I've given you this simple exercise. You can practice it for yourself, try it out, and see if it works for you. Now, I can tell you what I felt, when I got my epiphany and when I had this aha moment, and how I understand that what it means that we are responsible 100% for our own lives. Now, to me, this responsibility consists really of three parts. Part number one is that we are powerful creators of our lives here. So we're here on Earth, and if we know how to manage our energy, then we can create something really positive in our lives. If we don't really know how to use our energy, then we're still going to be powerful creators of our lives. However, it's not going to be that positive, most probably. Or, basically, what we would be creating would be just dependable on our circumstances and what we see and experience around us. So, okay, so one piece of this puzzle, of this responsibility, is that we are responsible, or our energy, let's put it in those terms, our energy is responsible for what we're creating around us in our lives. Part number two, we are responsible for the type of life and the type of experiences that we choose before we come to Earth. Part number three, and this might be a little bit, I don't know, out of somebody's comfort zone or whatever. I don't know if you believe this or not, but if you believe that we've lived, many, many lifetimes, so if you believe that we die and get reborn and we live several times, then the third piece of the puzzle is karma. Karma, to me, is just a fancy word for saying what goes around comes back around, basically, or what you sow is what you reap, right? So basically, whatever energy you put into something, this is what comes back to you. So let's go over those three aspects and see what it means. Now, energy. So first of all, what I understood, when people say that you are responsible for everything that happens in your life, you are responsible fully for your whole life, that means that your energy is fully responsible for your life, or for what this energy wants and chooses to experience. Okay? So maybe let's understand this sentence like that. And so what does it mean? Well, first of all, maybe let's start with this time when you were not born on the planet, on planet Earth yet. And let's start with your plan for this lifetime. So I believe, again, you might not agree, you might agree, so if it resonates, great, if it doesn't, it's okay. I believe that before we are born, our souls, or once again, I prefer to use the word energies, so our energies choose certain life pattern, or certain direction in which we want to go in this lifetime. So we kind of create a certain plan. Usually this plan, I believe, is not fully fixed, so you can still remodel it, change it, or there are like several variations. As far as I understand and how I feel it, I think only several things are kind of fixed in our plan for life, but still there is like this overall general plan, and definitely there is like certain intention. So before you come, you're born as a human being on this planet, or maybe not human being, actually. I mean, I'm talking to humans right now, but you can be born as anything else. So let's say before you're born on this planet, I feel like our energies, so your energy chooses certain path, or has certain intention why you want to come here, specifically at this time, specifically in the country that you are born with, that you are born at, or that you are going to be speaking specifically this and this language, that you are going to have this and this skin color, eye color, hair color, whatever else, if you're a man or a woman, you know, all of those things. This is what I feel, something that our energies choose. This is the intention. And for example, let's say your energy decides, okay, in this lifetime, my intention is to work on unconditional love. So, how could I possibly learn unconditional love? Well, can you guess how we usually learn unconditional love? Usually, we're born into really, really difficult circumstances when people around us do not show us unconditional love. In fact, sometimes we might be born into circumstances where we're not shown any love at all. And then everything else, you know, all outside sources might be also kind of showing to us lack of love. And then we might be struggling with giving this any kind of love, especially unconditional love, to others. And then throughout, you know, the course of our lives, we might be really, really struggling with our lives, and we might be feeling really unhappy. And so as a result, we might be called into spiritual development. Ta-da! And here we are, trying to figure this life out. And then we do, for example, this exercise, I am that I am, and suddenly we get an epiphany and we're like, oh, hell yeah, it works. So, and then, you know, we manage to open up this unconditional love. Sometimes, I don't know, we can go to a healer, or we can go to a guru or someone, or sometimes we can just all of a sudden get this download, and I don't know, something would open up in us and we would learn unconditional love. So basically, this is the aspect of our energies deciding for a certain intention or certain plan for our lifetimes. I believe this is what people call destiny. So when people say, when people use this word destiny, because, you know, personally, I've been struggling with this for a long while, when, you know, I wasn't sure if there is like one fixed destiny for everyone and we can never change anything in our lives, or we do actually create our reality as we go. And so by now, I finally had this realization that yes, we do create our reality as we go. Yes, we can create our life in any way we want. And what some people call destiny is simply this general overall plan that our energy, not somebody else, but our energy chose to have for this lifetime. Now, like I said, I believe that this is not one fixed plan. I think there are many plans. And even if there are several, let's say, plans, and when we are already on this planet in human form and we still don't like either of those plans, I still believe that we can change even that, and we can create kind of a new plan and a completely new reality. And I think this is also one of our main purposes throughout life to understand and to kind of remember that yes, we are powerful creators of our reality. Okay, so once again, let me emphasize this. It's not some God that kind of decides for us our intention for this lifetime. It's not some external forces. It's our own energies that choose the life path that we have for this lifetime. And this is one of the aspects that we need to take responsibility for. So even though when you're born in this physical body, you do not remember this moment when your energy chose this life path. And personally, I can give you my example. So I felt like, for a long while, when people kept telling me, you're responsible for your own life, your energy chose this, I thought, or people would say that my higher self chose this or something like this. And I would feel like I thought my higher self or my energy must have been just drunk or just completely crazy or out of it to have chosen the life that I've been having. I was like, so I felt like I've been forced, or I don't know, like there was something wrong with me that I've chosen this. Because for a very long time, my life was so far from, happiness and so far from what I wanted that I just felt like it just couldn't have been me. Like how mad would I have to be to have chosen something like this for myself? But this is exactly the moment. This is exactly the part, one of those three parts, where we need to take this responsibility and understand that, yes, it was our energy that chose this life path, but it didn't choose this life path as one single, non-changeable thing that is just, let's say, it wasn't like this, that our energy thought, okay, for this lifetime, let me think, I'm choosing a crappy lifetime, yeah, and I'm just gonna enjoy having a crappy life, yeah, and I will never be able to change that. No, it's not like that at all. So, the idea is that our energy might have decided to choose, let's say, more, as it seems to us, a more difficult lifetime in order to learn some more powerful lessons, as in some more powerful things. So depending on what, on how strong your energy already felt. So if your energy felt like, yeah, I've already learned a bunch of things, I am already pretty strong, and now I can learn even more, profound and kind of cool things. And so, of course, then it usually manifests in kind of more difficult situations, as in more difficult life circumstances, especially at the beginning of your life on the planet, and things like that. So yeah, so now let's talk about the second aspect of that. The second aspect is that we are powerful creators and we can create our reality fully when we are here on this planet. So like I said, even if our energy decided that it has intention to go through some really difficult life experiences, for example, but then you are on the planet in the human form, I still believe that we can change those aspects if we don't like them. And this is also like one of our lessons, basically, to remember that we're so powerful. Also, like I said, I do believe that some things are still kind of necessary, so they might still play out, but you can still kind of soften them, kind of soften the blow, so to say. And I also do believe that there are not that many of those things that are unchangeable. Personally, I actually think that it's possible to fully change your life if you don't like your circumstances or experiences. But of course, it all sounds super great, right? But we also know that when we are born as children, we are pretty much dependable on our circumstances. So it's not like, let's say we're born, I don't know, we're born with our energies intention to learn unconditional love, and then we're born to this amazing unconditionally loving family, and everyone around us just is so enlightened, and they tell us, oh yes, of course, darling, before you came to this planet you chose your life path for yourself and stuff like that. It doesn't happen like that, right? So usually we're born to difficult circumstances. We might have very difficult relationships with our parents. We might feel misunderstood or not understood completely. Our society might be not accepting of us, etc., etc., etc. So, even though we are powerful creators of our own reality, and we are fully 100% responsible for everything that we create in our reality, obviously, when we're children, we're not aware of that, and it's not like anyone around us, our environment, can remind us about that or can teach us that, right? So you feel the trick. So it's kind of a little bit like, yeah, you are fully responsible for your own life, but you have to figure it out for yourself. See? And I think exactly this bit, is the biggest obstacle for many of us, for really many people, because people are like, sometimes they feel like, how am I supposed to know? Right? Nobody told me before. But also, it's like, being a baby and being constantly exposed to, let's say, not healthy conditions of life and, difficult situations, etc., etc., it just doesn't help you in any way. In fact, it creates even bigger obstacle for you to realize that you create your own reality, because it doesn't look like that. And so let's say by the time that we become more aware of ourselves and our lives and what we do, we are already preconditioned, right? Because we already had certain experiences that might have made us believe that we're not powerful creators of our own reality, and we just kind of might have already bought into lie that we're very weak, creatures, that we're victims of different situations. Basically, that we just we're helpless, and we cannot do anything to change our life. And so this is exactly it. This is, this is exactly what people call victim mentality. And this moment, this aspect of feeling like a victim, and not feeling like you are responsible for your own life, like you can actually change your life, this is, and I think has been for many, many years and centuries and thousands of years, that have been the most difficult for people in general. Even though it seems like it's so basic, but yes, it is the very basis, but it's very difficult. I mean, honestly, if it was that easy, we wouldn't be struggling, right? So yeah. So everything is constructed in such a way that it feels like it's almost impossible to understand that you're a powerful creator of your own reality. And so you feel like, you know, somebody did this to me. Somebody put me into, I don't know, this family with parents who didn't understand me. Somebody put me into this country where everyone is poor and nobody has anything to eat. Somebody put me into this body where, I don't know, I'm black, for example, and it's more difficult for me to express myself or be treated as equal to people who, for example, have fair skin, etc., etc., etc. Right? So it feels like we didn't have a choice. We were just kind of put into this situation from early age, right? We were born into this situation, and we just couldn't change anything. And we're like, somebody did this to me, but actually, this somebody was your own energy. And your own energy chose this for itself consciously. So this is kind of step one. Going back to step one, your own energy chose the general life path and general intention for this lifetime. So it was your energy that chose it, and you need to take responsibility for that, even though you don't remember your energy doing that. Now, step number two, once again, is, I feel like, the most difficult one, is going through all those difficult circumstances in your life, and somehow through all those struggles, still getting to this point where you realize that, aha, actually, yes, I do create my own reality. But here it's more like, it's one thing to understand it, to just kind of like, oh yeah, okay, I create my own reality. But it's a little bit another thing to learn to learn to manage your energy, to create your reality effectively. This is something, so right now you probably know, if you open YouTube, you can find billion videos on how to manifest something, or how to raise your vibration, or how to, I don't know, make your wishes come true, blah, blah, blah. All of that is about how you can manage your energy to create the reality that you want. So it's not just enough to kind of believe or understand or feel that yes, you create your own reality. You also need to master this ability. And mastering this ability of creating your own reality in your desired way takes some time and practice. This is what I would say. So here, this aspect, it's not just enough to just kind of understand it or just feel it. You also need to master this ability, right? And practice makes perfect. So if you feel like you believe and you understand that you are a powerful creator of your own reality, and that everything that is around you is a powerful manifestation of what you've created, your energy created for itself, but you still do not get the results around you that you would prefer, then it means that you just need a little bit more practice, and you need to do it over and over again, and yeah, you just need to learn how to manage it, and it might take a little bit of time, but ultimately you'll get there. Trust me, I would say once you understand that it is true that you are creating everything around you, mastering this ability is usually happening rather quickly, and it's not that difficult. So all right, and let's go to the third aspect of this puzzle. Like I said, we can call it with one word, karma. Now, karma is something that once again, if you believe in living for several lifetimes, karma is something that your energy, once again, your energy has created in previous lifetimes. Obviously, karma can be positive or negative, or at least this is how we perceive it. Energetically speaking, I believe it's neither positive nor negative. It's just there, it's just energy. But, you know, from our perspective, it's either good or bad. All right, now, karma. Generally, okay, let's say in previous lifetimes, in some lifetimes, you had some intentions to learn different things and you were successful. So your energy had some intentions to learn certain things and it was successful. And in some lifetimes, your energy set some intentions to learn certain things and it was not successful. Which means that cumulatively by now, you have certain karma. And in this lifetime, so when your energy chooses for this lifetime certain intention, it can be like, okay, let's see. So previously I was successful at this, but I was not successful at that. So probably I need to deal with that thing that I wasn't super successful at last time. Obviously, it's not like your positive karma disappears. You always have it with you. So if you were successful at something, if you've learned something, it always stays with you. Also, if you haven't learned something, it also stays with you. So it's like, it just, you know, basically whatever you learned or you haven't learned stays with you. And so your energy is like, okay, since it still stayed with me, why don't I give it another try and set the intention of learning the same thing once again. And so you come, let's say, in this lifetime, in this body, in this form, and you start struggling with something, right? And this is the moment when, once again, you can feel like a victim, because you can be like, for example, I'm such a good person. Why does, I don't know, something bad just keep happening to me? And there's like no rhyme or reason to that. It's just so random. Like, for example, I don't know, let's say you're a kind person, kind-hearted, everybody loves you, everything is great. But for example, I don't know, each time you go outside, something bad happens to you. Like you go for a walk and a dog bites you, or I don't know, you go out and somebody attacks you, or you know, just some random attacks, but they happen each and every time. Or you go out and you just fall ill and somebody has to call for emergency and blah blah blah. And you just don't seem to find any roots of that, because you're like, let's say your childhood was fine, your teenage years were fine, your adulthood is fine, and then, you know, everything is great, but this one aspect just keeps reappearing and it doesn't make any sense. To me, it feels like karma. So I would say that, so, and in this situation, once again, you can feel like, oh, well then, you know, maybe there's some God who is punishing me for something. Maybe it's because I've been sinful or whatever else. Or maybe you just think something else. Maybe you think, oh, the world is horrible. Everybody's out to get me, or some, you know, usually we somehow rationalize, we try to rationalize such things in some way, right? We try to find some logic to this. But if you just think about this one lifetime, then such situations usually will not make sense to you at all. And this is where this last aspect comes into play, where we need to admit to ourselves that it is our energy doing this to us, or it is our energy doing this to itself. This is a more accurate way of putting it. So, because karma is still your own energy. And this is the third part, the third aspect that you need to take responsibility for. You need to take responsibility for the fact that it's not other people from previous lifetimes that are trying to hurt you, or these are not, some, once again, external circumstances or external powers that are trying to get you or do something to you. It's your own energy that evokes in other people, in other situations, something to attack you or to do something to you, or to react at you in a certain way, so that your energy, so itself, your energy can awaken at some point to the idea that there is some old karma that hasn't been transmuted or transformed or healed, simply, or I don't know, released, let go of. Yeah. So basically, these are those three aspects. Now, once again, for me, the easiest way to really feel like I'm this powerful creator is to imagine that my energy is kind of using everything and everyone, a little bit like puppets on the strings. I know it might sound harsh a little bit, but let's be honest, each of us lives in our own reality, and everything happens in our reality exactly as our energy wants it to. So let's say if your energy wants it to solve certain problem from the past, so certain karma, your energy will be working and will be using with itself other people and other situations, so that they would be facing you or showing you something that you maybe don't like, and that you would have to deal with, and that you would have to face, and eventually something, it will trigger something in you that you will deal with this karma. If your energy chose certain intention, certain life path for now, in order for it, again, for this energy to learn something, then your energy, while you're staying in this physical form, it will also be using everyone else as puppets on the strings, so that they show up in your life and they show you different situations and different decorations that you might like or you might not like, and that you would have to go through and deal with and face. And once again, when you live in your circumstances, your energy will also be creating for itself whatever you choose. Now, when I say you here in this lifetime, I mean that here your conscious part also takes part in this, but you're unconscious of that. Like I said, usually we're unconscious of that for a long time, and it's only when we become aware, really aware of the fact that we are powerful creators of our own realities, that we start using it consciously. But like I said, it takes practice. And so then, ideally, you consciously understand that yes, your energy creates everything you see in your life every single second. And so then you use certain intentions, you raise your vibration, etc., etc., and then you create, again, your energy, or your conscious mind together with your energy, both of you, both parts of you, together create the reality that you want, again, using people, using situations and everything to show you what you want. If you do it unconsciously, so if you're not aware of the fact, or you do not want to admit the fact that you are responsible for whatever you have in your life, then you will still be doing that, but just unconsciously. And then usually you would be creating something that you would personally call negative. So then, let's say you look at your current circumstances and you don't like them, and so your energy would be helping you create even more of what you don't like, because this is what you're focusing on. Okay? So yeah, so to me, the easiest way of feeling that I'm the powerful creator of my own reality is imagining that everything is the same energy. So when I'm talking to another person, it's the same energy talking to the same energy, talking to itself. It's like I'm talking to you guys right now, but ultimately it's like energy talking to the same energy. And so whatever happens in my life, it must have been caused by the choices and the intentions that my energy chose and used the same energy, so used itself in the form of others or in the form of other situations to reflect back at itself. You know how people say that there is no like one and another, and like it's all oneness? This is pretty much it. It's like, or when some people say, oh, I don't want to feel lonely, or, you know, I don't want to be alone. Well, I can tell you that the whole universe is just one energy. Totally one energy, just talking to itself and working with itself and teaching itself. It's kind of like, yeah, like people who talk to themselves. That's it. Now, I really hope that it triggered something in you. I hope that it made you, you know, understand it a little bit better. Just remember that every time you see someone or you see something, it doesn't matter what, you can think to yourself, I am that. I am. Meaning, this is my energy talking to my energy, or this is my energy talking or seeing or experiencing my energy. It's all one energy, and it's this your energy using everything and everyone else in such a way that everything and everyone else do, say, and behave towards this energy in the way that it wants. It's just, yeah, you do whatever you want, because the energy always does what it wants to itself. So yeah, I hope it wasn't too hectic. I hope you understood the general idea, or at least it moved something in you and it triggered something, or evoked some kind of thought process in you that it would get easier for you to understand how it works. And I honestly hope that you will get out of this, if you are in it, that you will get out of the victim mode and you will feel empowered. Because then you will understand that if you're able to create something negative in your life, then you're also pretty much as capable of creating something positive in your life as well. You just, all you need to do is just choose to do it consciously. That's all. And okay, I agree, it takes a little bit of practice, like I said. It takes a little bit of practice. But trust me, it's totally doable. And it's way easier than it seems. And you have billion tutorials on that and billion information about that on YouTube and everywhere on the internet. So, all right, guys. So I think it's enough for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope, yeah, it helps you in some way. Also, if you're interested in tarot reading, please feel free to write to me, to contact me, message me on Alisa's Transmuting Tarot Facebook page. And yeah, I hope it helped you change your reality for the better. Have a nice day, evening, whatever else, wherever you are. I love you guys. Bye.